Hello everyone, it's Kirsten here again. Welcome back to my channel, especially if you're new, welcome for the first time. So today I want to kind of break down the way that I personally choose to eat and like to eat as a professional ballet dancer in order to help my body perform at its very best and recover quickly, as in basically overnight, in order to prepare for the next day of hard work on my muscles and joints. I eat to aid in recovery of injuries, and especially I eat in a way that assists my body in reducing inflammation as much as possible. So today I just want to share with you the basic principles I follow in my diet personally, just so that you know, and also because I am planning on releasing a couple of food related / nutrition related videos after this one, and I just want to have this out first just so you guys have some context as to what my personal beliefs are. So the first thing I want to acknowledge is that if you go back a couple months in my library of videos, you'll notice that I did used to eat meat. I've been gluten-free for a very long time. I'd say I've been eating gluten-free for about 5 or 6 years now. I'm not 100% strict on that diet. Like if I'm at a birthday party and there's some birthday cake, or like on Christmas Day if there's like some pie with a crust that has wheat in it, I'll eat some and that's fine, and yeah, I might get a little bloated, whatever. I'm definitely not gonna die, and I don't believe in completely eradicating wheat from my diet because I am not highly allergic to it. I'm just sensitive to it. I've noticed my body just feels much better, and I have significantly less digestive discomfort when I do leave it out of my diet. So that's just for context, but I do have it every now and then, especially since I feel like if I have it every now and then, my body will still have somewhat of a tolerance to it, because I have several friends who have been very strict on their gluten-free diets, and they said that they actually went from being able to tolerate some to going several months without it, and then having it just even a little bit again really sent their stomach into fits. So I kind of want to keep it in my diet just here and there, just so that nothing crazy happens with my body if I do happen to have it again. Now you'll also notice, I think I just mentioned, I did eat meat. About 6 months ago, I decided to start making the transition towards a plant-based diet. Now this is for ethical reasons and environmental purposes. After beginning for those reasons of wanting to eat in a way that is more sustainable and environmentally friendly and cruelty-free, I started to really embrace more of the health aspect of eating not just a vegan diet, but a plant-based diet. Now, I'm not totally perfect. I definitely have like trace amounts of dairy and eggs sometimes when I go out to eat, purely because though it is not impossible to eat out as a vegan, it's certainly not impossible. It's very difficult, and eating out and socializing is something I do enjoy very much. Now, to the hardcore vegans out there, some people really lose respect for people like me who are 99% vegans, just because I do leave that flexibility in my diet so that I just can simply enjoy my life. Now, do I go out gorging on ice cream and ordering quiche and omelets and things like that? No, I don't. But if, let's say I order, like, one time I was at a restaurant, I had the sweet potato plantain, like, fritter patty thing. The waitress couldn't tell me if there was eggs in there. And at that point, the people at my table were just kind of like, oh my God. Now, do I think that you should sacrifice your morals to make other people comfortable? No. However, that was just further than I was willing to go at this time, as I feel I'm still transitioning. So long story short, I do still have trace amounts of egg and dairy in my diet, however, no meat whatsoever. And I've been enjoying that and feel that it's been a really positive change in my life. So yes, you'll go back into my past recipe videos and see, like, I put chicken in one of my recipes, but I don't eat that way anymore. However, I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that in order to be a professional dancer and to have the best diet possible, you need to eat 100% plant-based. No, not necessarily. I do think I was healthy when I was still eating meat, but for my beliefs, and the way I want to live my life does not involve meat. So that's just for you guys to know, just for context. What I really want to accentuate today in my diet preferences is that I believe in eating an anti-inflammatory diet as an athlete. So this means eating as plant-based as possible, which means consuming as many whole food, plant-based sources of nutrients in my diet. So as many fruits and vegetables as possible, minimally processed foods. Now, the funny thing is that a lot of people on YouTube are kind of contradicting themselves when they say no processed foods and things like that. No, not overly processed foods. You shouldn't have those and make that a staple in your diet, though it's okay every now and then. The thing is that even healthy foods are slightly processed. Now, you want to get to the point where you have minimally processed foods, but having a smoothie is technically a processed food, even though those nutrients are easy to digest and bioavailable to your body. Cooking things like grains and beans, that's processing, but it allows your body to digest those foods. So no, having absolutely no processed foods in your diet is not essential whatsoever. But this is especially applicable for me, and I have found a lot of success on this diet because I do struggle with an inflammatory disorder in my knee, which I am recovering from due to several injuries in that knee. I also find that I feel like I retain swelling and inflammation quite easily. Like, I'll get off of a plane and usually my ankles are swollen. I know that's not abnormal, but it's something as an athlete, if I can prevent it, I would like to do that. And so the way I combat this is eating lots of fruits and vegetables in my diet, foods that are colorful, because usually the deeper the color of the food, the more micronutrients there are in that food. That being said, even things like cabbage, which is not a colorful food, it's still great for you. Or white potatoes, surprisingly, I used to be like very anti-white potato for a long time. And then I found out that they actually have good levels of potassium and vitamin C, and obviously fiber. It's a healthy starch. Now, yes, sweet potatoes are more nutrient dense, so go for the sweet potato when you can. But if you have a white potato, don't be like, this is so unhealthy, oh my gosh. Now, white potatoes with butter, unhealthy. But anyway, the point is that you want to eat as many dark leafy greens as possible on an anti-inflammatory diet. Things like berries that are rich in color. Getting your starches from healthy sources like maybe brown rice and, well, quinoa, that's a seed and a good source of protein, but it could also kind of be eaten like a starch or in replacement of a heavy starch. Also, potatoes or things like polenta made from gluten or organic corn. I choose those foods certainly over wheat products, not because I believe wheat is inherently bad. It is certainly not. In fact, there are cultures that survived off of wheat almost independently for many years. But the thing is that the form of wheat that we are eating in our American diet, or whatever country you're watching this from, especially in developed nations, the way we're eating wheat today is certainly not the way our ancestors ate wheat, and it's usually an inflammatory food, highly processed. You're eating white bleached flours. It's full of preservatives and pesticides from the wheat when it was grown. It just really doesn't serve your body, and actually a lot of people are slightly intolerant or sensitive to wheat and they just don't know it. And I personally, I don't know if I could really back this up with science, but I really think that this is becoming more prevalent due to the amount of processed, unhealthy forms of wheat that we grow up eating, and our bodies just can't take it anymore. And so now all of a sudden you have all these people who are like, I'm insensitive to gluten. Even though I don't believe I have a real allergy to the food, I just have an adverse reaction nearly every time I eat it, so I choose to avoid it. And it is certainly not included in my list of anti-inflammatory ingredients. Also, in an anti-inflammatory diet, it is very important to get healthy sources of fats and omega-3 fatty acids combined with a balanced level of omega-6 fatty acids. It's important to get a balance in those. A lot of the way many people eat these days is naturally super high in the amounts of omega-6 they have in their diet, but the omega-3s come from many plant sources, not just fish. A lot of people think they need to be consuming salmon and things like that. You don't. Number one, that's super expensive. Number two, it's super, super, super expensive if you're trying to get the non-toxic versions of salmon. Many pieces of salmon that you find at the grocery store are not only expensive, they are very toxic, farm raised, and not just void of nutrients, but full of things that are not good for your body at all. So, am I also saying that salmon is unhealthy? Absolutely not. Like wheat, it's just another highly manipulated ingredient. Some safe forms of omega-3s that you can easily get in your diet are ground flax seeds. You could put that into a ton of baked goods or just add it to your oatmeal or your smoothies. It's so easy to get in there. Use it as an egg replacer. It's a really cheap and easy way to get omega-3s in your diet. Also, chia seeds are another obvious one. However, if you eat those, make sure you are soaking them or eating them in like a powder form, because like flax seeds, if they're ground up or soaked, the nutrients in those foods are more available to your body during the digestive process. A big reason that healthy fats like those sources I just mentioned are really important to be getting in your anti-inflammatory diet is because, or just any sort of diet, is because many nutrient-dense foods have lots of vitamins in them. You know, these plant foods I've been talking about, berries, lots of fruits and vegetables, they have high levels of fat-soluble vitamins. When I say fat soluble, I mean they are only available to your body for the most part when those vitamins are also processed in your body along with, or digested in your body along with a healthy source of fat. That means those two pair together in your system, this is in very simple terms, and your body is able to absorb that nutrient. There are also a lot of water-soluble vitamins. Those are, I believe, the two categories: water-soluble, fat-soluble vitamins. But kind of the danger of going on a super low-fat diet, among other things, is that you are actually kind of wasting away all those vitamins that you're trying so hard to get into your diet because your body simply cannot process it without those healthy sources of fat. So really don't be afraid to add avocado and chia seeds and nuts and things like that to your diet. A lot of those things like almonds and things like that also have a lot of vitamin E, which is super great for your skin. I noticed when I started to add more things like almonds and avocados into my diet and some seeds, my skin started to look much more vibrant and radiant, and it was it's hard to describe. It just looked so much better and more clear, not in the sense that there wasn't acne there, but there were just fewer imperfections or less of a variety of tones in my skin. So just to sum it up, I personally choose to eat a vegan plant-based diet whenever I possibly can. I try to avoid the highly processed foods. I am making sure to incorporate great sources of healthy fats in my diet, and also balancing that with healthy sources of protein. Of course, I didn't mention this, but I do eat a rather high protein diet for a vegan. I really make sure to get in legumes like beans. I eat plenty of quinoa. I have some healthy soy products. I do eat tofu. That is it's good for you. It is processed, but it is good for you. Also, things like tempeh are really great for you, because if you even look at tempeh, it is it's a fermented product, which is great for you, but it's also a more complete whole form of the soybean. Edamame is great. That's a whole form of soy. Yeah, I'm just making sure to get in plenty of protein sources in every single meal. Nuts also have plenty of protein. Hemp seeds are great. They've got the omega-3s I was talking about. That's one I definitely should have mentioned. Hemp seeds are great for you. And they also have high levels of protein. Even things like nutritional yeast. As a vegan, you could get B12 in your diet, and it actually has a surprising amount of protein. So I feel great on a high protein diet, and I am happy to say I could still get that as a person who's eating a plant-based diet. I don't need to resort to animal products that often, at least the animal products that I could afford in my price range at the grocery store, were not the like free range chicken stuff. It was like the cheaper chicken that probably had all sorts of antibiotics, growth hormones. I mean, the chickens probably ate crap, and so I was eating the chickens, and then the crap, it's not good. So if you do still consume meat, try to get the kind that maybe consider consuming far less of it and purchasing the free range, grass-fed type of products. Now, I'm not advocating for a diet full of meat. I'm just saying if you choose to still consume it, it is better to have less of the super high quality stuff than feeling like your body absolutely needs to have meat at least twice a day. It really doesn't. It doesn't. Honestly, I'm very pleased to tell you that since going on a plant-based diet about 6 months ago, my muscle tone has actually improved, and I don't say that is because of the vegan diet. I've increased my cross training with Pilates reformer classes and stuff like that, but it's just nice to say that no, my muscles have not begun to atrophy, I'm not shriveling up, and I feel great. So I just wanted to get this out there for y'all's information, just so that when I post future videos about nutrition advice and food, you just know where I'm coming from personally. But no matter what you believe, make sure that you are limiting at all costs refined sugars in your diet. Especially the American diet is absolutely full of refined sugars. That is not friendly for the anti-inflammatory diet. It is not healthy for you. It does not do you any service, especially if you feel like you're getting sick all the time. It's because you're destroying your immune system and your gut biome with all those sugars. So make sure you're reading your ingredients labels, or better yet, buy things at the grocery store that don't have ingredients labels like fruits and vegetables. Just make sure you're getting as many nutrient-dense foods in your diet as possible, getting in those healthy sources of fat, and being mindful of how much protein you're getting in your diet, not going crazy and overboard with it, because it's definitely possible to do that when you're eating a lot of meat. I definitely used to do that. That is not necessary for your body, and it's actually not beneficial to eat too much protein. Filling your diet with foods that are not nutrient dense instead of just protein dense, it's just not useful. But my advice is that if you are eating a plant-based diet, just be mindful of the different types of food you're eating, get a variety in, make sure that you are cognizant of the protein sources you're getting in there and how much of those you're getting. I also make sure that in my healthy diet, I am not going hungry. I am eating until I am full to ensure that I'm really nourishing my body as much as it is asking me to. But not also over-nourishing it and eating constantly, because then I find that when I eat too much or too frequently, I suffer from digestive discomfort, and it's just not pleasant. So just having a healthy balance. It's all about balance, getting a variety. Yeah. Anyway, this is getting kind of long, but I hope you guys do enjoy this, or did enjoy this, and that you will subscribe if you haven't already. Check out my Patreon account, please, if you have personally found a lot of value and enjoyment in watching my channel. I would really appreciate you considering a monthly donation on my Patreon account so that I can continue to post the best content I possibly can. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. I will see you guys next time. Bye!